to the Belleville West Broadcast Club social media. It's episode 6, Lancer Conversation, and for this week I'm joined by defensive coordinator of the football team, Coach Zerjal. Thank you for taking time to join me today.
Absolutely. How are you?
Good. How about you?
I'm good.
Appreciate it, Coach, taking the time. I know this interview is not going to be best for me because your Eagles beat my Cardinals.
Yes, they did. The Eagles are off to a great start.
Yeah.
Makes me even more nervous.
5-0. I mean, Jalen Hurts, he's the real deal.
He's playing well.
So before we start, we want to take a few seconds to introduce yourself and your coaching background.
Yeah, so I'm the defensive coordinator for the football team. I've coached for 18 years. I've been at East for 4 years, and I played receiver in high school and college, and it just kind of worked out that I started coaching defense, and I never went back. So it's just kind of weird how it worked out.
What's your favorite thing about coaching football?
I know this is going to sound stupid, but I think it's just the energy the kids have, and just it makes you not feel as old as maybe you're getting, because I'm almost 40, so it's fun to be around the kids and they get excited about stuff. So
one of the things I've seen in your classroom is a bunch of college football stuff.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I mean, what's your favorite college football team?
So listen, my dad loved Notre Dame, and I probably root for Notre Dame. A lot of my family went to Mizzou. I love college football more than anything in the whole world. I mean, I follow it religiously 365 days a year, so it's like my greatest hobby.
What about college basketball as well?
Yeah, so I'm not as into college basketball.
Yeah.
I enjoy college basketball. Don't get me wrong, I watch it, especially when there's not much to do in the winter. I'd probably still root for like Mizzou, Notre Dame, kind of. It's more of like teams I hate than it is anything else. So like, I hate Kansas, and that carries me through basketball usually. Yeah, so.
NFL, you're an Eagles fan. How did you get to being an Eagles fan?
So St. Louis didn't have a team when I was a kid. This is before the Rams came. And so a lot of my guys I grew up with loved the Cowboys because they had Emmitt Smith and Troy Aikman and Mike Orvin, and they were winning Super Bowls, and I was like, I'm not doing that. And so I picked the Eagles, who always got beat by the Cowboys. Why I did that, I don't know, but that's just kind of how it played out. So.
All right, let's start talking Lancer football.
Absolutely,
so,
please. Yeah.
You guys played Edwardsville this past Friday, and you're being the defensive coordinator. What's your thoughts on the game, especially on the defensive side of the ball?
Yeah, so Coach Harrison had some good thoughts, and we played some man coverage more than we usually do, rather than zone, and brought some more pressure and stuff, and that obviously worked well. Our kids played really well, and you could come up with all these schemes and everything, but when the kids do a good job like they did, it makes you look as a coach like you know what you're doing. You know what I mean? And it's really about the kids. So.
Yeah. Something I always talked about to Coach Harrison is the ability to create takeaways and how big they can be. You guys had 2 on Friday, and one of them came late in the fourth quarter where set up that game-winning drive. How big was that, and how did it change the energy of the team, the energy of the game? Yeah,
so we do talk about takeaways, and one of the things we do is just a reminder is if you get a takeaway in the game, you get candy. So our kids sometimes remember getting the candy and stuff. It's just a reminder that we need to get takeaways. From a standpoint in high school has so much emotion up and down. Getting a takeaway like that is a big deal. It really can swing the game, or in this case, help us tie the game. So.
You put a tweet out after the game by quote, "One of the best efforts I've been around in my 18 years of coaching football. These kids battled, proud to be a Lancer." Explain more of that tweet.
Yeah, you did your research here. I'm proud of you. You're all over it. No, I mean, Edwardsville is like 8 or 9 in the state. Has a really good crew of athletes. I don't think many people thought we could play with them, and we had a great chance to beat them. So, I mean, our guys, especially after not playing well against O'Fallon last week, for our guys to respond like that was pretty impressive. And that's just, I mean, again, I just was proud of them. Yeah.
Continuing on that effort, you guys have vastly improved since last year.
No doubt,
both the offensive and defensive side of the ball. You got to be pretty happy with that progress.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and I think we talked about in the offseason having a chance here at the end of the year to play for something, to play for something. So we have 2 games left and a chance maybe to win both of those. And if we can make the playoffs, that would be a sign of tremendous improvement for sure. So.
You've been a coach of the Lens football team, you said, for 4 years earlier, which means you've been in a couple East versus West games. How does it feel like to coach in those games?
So I grew up in Muscuda, and I love football, and I love high school football. My dad was a high school football coach. East-West is like one of the classics. I mean, it's like in this area, all you got to do is say East-West, and people are like, oh, yeah. And so there's just something about it. It's just different. I really enjoy it because I love college football rivalries and stuff like that, so it's really neat.
You guys have senior day as well on Saturday,
Yeah.
and one of the biggest playmakers on the defense side of the ball is Anthony Cunningham,
Sure.
D1 commit, Iowa State.
Yeah.
What's it like been coaching him these last few years?
Yeah, so he is like just loves football and really knows more about the game than I think a lot of high school kids, especially technique and stuff like that. And I will, it sounds bad, but I've almost taken him for granted because we've always had him the last few years, and it'll be a huge loss when he's gone. But just being around him, he's got great energy, he loves football. I think I feed off that, so it's great.
You guys, 2 games left on the year, West Granite City, both home games. You guys set a record of 3-4.
Sure.
And if you could win these next 2 games, finish 5-4, most likely get in the playoffs.
Sure.
Is that on your mind or in any of the players' minds going these last 2 games?
Yeah, I think it's probably on their mind, but Coach Harrison does a good job of, Granite City right now there's nothing to, that game doesn't matter. We got to go play West, and if we can win that game, it sets us up for the last game of the year. And I'm glad they're both at home. That'll be nice.
Yep. So. Finishing for you off, what's one thing you guys think you've been doing well as a strength, and then one weakness you guys need to improve on before West on Saturday?
Yeah, so I think the weakness is easier right now. We're kind of up and down. At times we're inconsistent on both sides of the ball. Like we didn't play very well against O'Fallon, but then we played pretty well against Edwardsville. So I'd like to see us be more consistent. And one thing we definitely do well is the kids have energy. And what that means to me is like they enjoy practicing to an extent, and they enjoy playing in the games, and it still seems fun. And we're in our 8th game coming up now. They still have good energy. So.
All right, appreciate it, Coach Zerjal.
Absolutely, yeah. Thank you for having me. All right.
Good luck in the game.
All right, thank you.